3rd John.
Yeah.
What number?
We just started chapter 1 because I only got to chapter 2 last time. The elder of the church addresses this letter to the beloved, esteemed Gaius, whom I truly love. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in every way, and that your body may keep well, even as I know your soul keeps well and prospers. That covers the whole genre.
That's good.
That's mentally, spiritually, physically, socially, financially, and spiritually. It's all in that one thing. What is he doing? He's uttering a blessing over this guy, Gaius. He's giving him a blessing. And that's what you're supposed to be doing with your kids, with your wife, with your car, with anything that you have that belongs to you. You always say a blessing over it.
Everything.
Everything. Now, you're 70 to 80% water, depending on your age. Young guys are 70%. When you get older like us, you get up to 90% water. Your body is made out of water.
Wait a minute, say that again. The older we get, we
We become more and more water.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you wrinkle.
No. The elasticity of your skin. But why is this so important when I'm telling you about the content of water that's in your body? Water has memory. They've proven that. Now, when you say a blessing over yourself and you're hearing it, and that blessing is on your body, guess what? Your whole body
That's good.
is memorizing that. That water that's in your body, and every mitochondria that's in your body, and every soul, and every spirit, and everything, it's being full of what? Life, love. So you're blessing yourself. And you can prove, that's why you should always talk to water. Anytime you talk,
So if I'm talking to myself, I am talking to water.
yes.
Every time
Also
I
take a glass of water, you talk to it, you give it a blessing.
Yeah, I say like, and love.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Anything that's containing water, everything contains water. God,
Electricity can be going through water attracts electricity because electrical impulses that's in your body.
the electricity puts a memory in the water. Being technically, yes, it puts a memory into the water. That's why the water that I drink, I run it through a magnetic energy field before I drink it. I energize the water.
So when we talk to water, are we talking to the substructure part of the water
Yes,
that you can't see?
yeah, because even the ocean has memory. All water has memory. That's why you don't drink tap water, because it's full of terrible memories.
Right. And this
Because you're
works-
polluting
This
yourself.
works because of our faith, we believe it.
Yes. Look, anything that you believe is what you're going to live.
Distilled water is just like
It's,
rain or pure water.
it is pure. There's nothing in it. And rain is distilled water. Now, it doesn't have any memory in it yet, because it's pure. There's nothing in it until
You speak to it,
you speak to it. Or it picks up from you. You'll pick it up too, but you can still speak to it, and you can change the memory into a
See,
positive.
the word is lining
not-
perfectly up with this.
Sir?
The word is lining.
Oh, yeah, that's what it says.
What you're saying.
Yes.
Faith is the substance, and we talked about this last week.
Yes.
And that's word substance is substructure when you pull it apart.
Right.
So faith is the substructure of things hoped for. That means the things you've already imagined.
Yes.
Which means you've given yourself a parable to see yourself walking free from whatever it may be, like cancer.
Right, that's the definition of hope. Exactly.
God knows what he's doing.
I hope so. And he created everything in this reality. You know what he started with? Water. Go read Genesis. He hovered over the waters.
That's
The
right.
Spirit. And he was and what was he doing? He was saying frequencies, words into that water, and that water became the memories of those words, and then the water formed the earth and the moon and the stars and the sun and the galaxies and the trees and everything else.
He saw the end from the beginning, just
Yes.
like we do.
And he spoke it. Same thing. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's why we're gods of this world.
Romans 10:10.
Yes.
Believe into righteousness and confess unto salvation.
And righteousness means right standing.
So-
That right standing is with God. Yes.
It was all water when he spoke and then the earth came up out of the water.
I don't know. He just, he was
Somehow.
made from the water.
made from the water.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, everything was.
yeah,
There's nothing that wasn't.
I got it. I can see the picture.
Good.
Yeah,
That's what you're supposed to do, because you do think in pictures.
right.
That's how you-
I mean, I can see that.
Yes, hallelujah.
Good.
Any questions?
No.
That's why I got into the water and the body and all that, because it's all one big giant trail, man. It all interconnects. Everything does. It's like a song, a music. The musics are nothing more than frequencies. And that's how you measure how fast something vibrates, is a frequency, which is a note, and is in a music, and it's all the same thing. Everything that we understand today, and now even in the quantum theory, that it's interrelated, even though you can't see it.
And the healing frequency for your body is it 528 or 432?
That's the DNA, that's the foundational healing. You heal your DNA with 528. Once your DNA is healed, that's who you are, that's your blueprint. That's what
Okay.
makes you who you are. And the DNA does get screwed up. There's telomeres on the DNA. Well, I don't want to, you want me to get into this stuff? Or do you want me
A
to?
little deep for me.
Well, I understand that, but listen, take notes. This is good. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you love it, that's why you're here. And you too.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay,
Go for it.
yeah.
DNA is a what? A spiral, right?
It's a curlicue.
Yeah, and half of it's your dad and half of it's your mother. That's what makes up your DNA. Your DNA is the blueprint of who you are. That's what makes cells. It makes you who you are. Now, they know that there is a enzyme that goes through and untangles the DNA. And then it looks just like a big ladder, you know, the little things that are crossed, how that works.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it splits it in two, and then they've got these telomeres. Now, these are the rungs of the ladder, and these telomeres go like this, over the top. This is how a new cell is made, through the DNA, through the blueprint. So it copies each one of those rungs
Okay.
until it gets to the end. And then there's other rungs up there that don't do nothing that they know of. It doesn't impart information. And that telomere will only go so far into that end of the DNA, and since it can't copy, it stops, and after a while it falls off.
A new cell.
A new cell.
Is that
But-
what the
but-
ladder looking thing is?
Yes, that, the rungs of the ladder.
Like a ladder?
Yeah, it separates so that, it's like this, DNA, then it separates, so you still got the rungs, but they've been cut in two, say. And the telomeres copy those, and those is what recreates the cell. We're doing this
40 million.
times a day.
Yeah.
And we got cells dying every 50, 500,000 cells die every day. And all these little things are going like that.
Okay.
Now, second time it goes around, it runs into the ones that don't have any information to give, and it stops closer to where the information is, because it's run, it can't go all the way because of these non-existent rungs don't have any information in it, so it can't go as far, so it slows down. So now it only goes to here.
Information from where?
The ladder,
Oh,
they're recopying. And all it's doing is copying, making a new cell. But it can't go as far because this non-information that's sticking up, it can't go to, say, there's 4 on the end, it can only go to 3 this time.
okay.
And then it keeps going, then it can only go to 2. And then it keeps going, and it can only go to 1. And then it keeps going, and it can't even get to that 1 anymore. So the information that's there, it stops copying before the end. So what does that mean? That means you get old.
So
That's-
if it kept on going, we could grow a new arm.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that where stem cell comes in now?
Well, stem cell is a blank cell. It becomes any cell that the body wants.
Yeah, they implanted in that part.
Can,
And it-
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But that's down here, we're talking basic
Oh.
here at the
So
DNA.
salamanders can grow a new tail because they don't believe they can.
They don't know any different.
I'm just
Yes, no, but that's what makes you get old, because you can't keep copying the same cell. It gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. But guess what? There's a frequency that it can extend that cell, where the telomere will go all the way. And what does that mean? Retard your age.
So is that frequency 528? Oh, no, what is that?
It's a bunch of different frequencies, but yeah, I've got them. That's what I use the generator for. And I can run you through it. But
You
it's,
just gotta be careful.
yeah, I just gotta be careful because your electromagnetic energy thing is.
Is that the guy that starts with an R? What's his-
Royal Rife,
That guy?
Why,
Yes.
why do you have to be careful?
he's got a pacemaker
Oh.
because of his heart attack. And, because it's frequencies.
Mhm.
And I can't fill his body full of frequencies without disturbing that heart monitor thing, so. They knew about this stuff 100 years ago. But the doctors came in and the pharmaceuticals came in and shut them all down.
Okay, got it.
So, that's what we're talking about. That's what a telomere does. That's biology. That's what we do. So there's a lot of stuff out there that is available for us through the information, physically, not spiritually, but physically, that can prolong your life if you want.
What, is that where the grounding mat helps too?
That generates negative ions, and your body has to have negative ions, which comes from the sun. It's not as good as the sun, but it's the second best thing you can do, because you're continually flooding your body with negative ions, because your body's negatively charged.
And
Yes.
if you get into the tapping, that helps a little bit too.
That unblocks
Yeah.
the circulation of the energy meridians that are in your body. And that comes from Chinese medicine.
Well, I've had, my natural doctor I go to and get tested, you know, different things. Sometimes she'll want me to do tapping
Yeah.
That's what we're talking
to get over an
It's
emotional
real.
thing
It
from
works.
church or something like
Yeah,
that.
yes.
You know, I feel stupid, but I do.
Yeah, it works.
I do it every day,
I taught it in
twice a
here.
day.
I saw something about like,
What is it, right here?
It's here,
This is
here,
how-
here,
this is
here,
mine.
here,
Here,
there,
Here.
here.
Okay,
Here,
I was
here,
always
here.
using
What does that do?
then right here,
right here.
and then right under
That's
your
where it
titty,
starts.
right where you're right under your nipple,
I did this,
Right.
yeah, we've done that before.
yeah.
and then.
I saw
Did
something
you
about kids who have like emotional issues, they'll do tapping and it'll disrupt their, you know, issues and
It's
stuff.
called it's called.
This is called this is called the
E
burner, but
T.
you can actually do that and avoid doing all the fingers.
Is there a
You have
way?
to look all that stuff.
And then acupuncture has stuff where if you push certain points, it'll get rid of back pain.
It's, what you're
DNA
doing
for
is the
your
same
mom and
as the, what do you call those
To make
things?
you up, you know?
Yeah,
Is there a
What
way
do you
to
call them?
Like-
to rewrite
No,
that
the Chinese
DNA?
will stick.
Acupuncture.
Get past certain
Acupuncture,
things
right.
that they
That fucking works.
put in you.
Yeah.
What it does is it
Yeah.
disrupts
That's
the
what
negative stuff that you store up in your. it
that will
disrupts it.
rewrite the damaged DNA,
That's what it's doing.
it heals you, and that's the
While I do it,
foundation.
I
That's
say,
what we're
I say that like.
Everything else has to be.
I'm a beloved son of Most High.
Every cell in my body
exists.
It's
That's
full of
what
abundant
starts
life, perfect health,
the cell,
limitless energy.
division of the
Ideal
cells
weight,
and all
Speak
that.
it out, mine's
That makes
190, and just go on and on. Blood pressure 120 over 80 or less.
Okay, got it.
I'm telling it what to do. And
I'm getting younger every year.
Try.
And then I tell my organs that I love them, I like them.
Much younger.
You know, if somebody who gets cancer, let's say in their pancreas, then they say, oh, well, I don't like my pancreas anymore, it's got cancer.
Mhm.
That's gonna see you
That's
to
right.
death quicker
Oh, yeah.
than just having cancer.
Yeah,
What are you praying for?
That's right, exactly.
oh, yeah,
Same principle. It's all the same.
yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
exactly right.
It's not that hard until you don't understand it, and you grew up that way. I grew up that way, and I rejected it because it didn't make any sense to me. Of course, I rejected just about everything back then anyway, because people's always made fun of me, because I'm an oddball. I'm not. I don't go with the flow. I'm not a herd animal.
I noticed that.
I kind of figure out.
Heard of- You're not a sheep.
Where did they come up with that 528 is something about with the devil? You ever heard that teaching out there?
No, 528 is a Solfeggio scale, and he's the guy that came up with, the best way to say this, you know the shofar horns
Yeah.
back in
Yeah.
Hebrews?
Yeah.
And they went around the Tower of Jericho on the seventh day.
Yeah.
Well, the sound coming out of that horn is a Solfeggio scale sound. And if you want to go past another 1,000 years before that, in the Egyptian time and the Babylonian time, everything was built on, they knew about these frequencies back then, 4,000 years
The
ago.
sun has a 528 frequency.
Yes,
doesn't it?
yes. that's
But
what
Joshua
it said.
and Caleb had no training in frequencies. They just listened to the Lord and did it. And sure enough, they came off tumbling down.
Well, that's how he built everything, was a frequency. That's what he hovered over the water when he spoke frequencies. It's all the same thing.
That's how the pyramids got built, right?
Could have, that levitation, sure. You could have,
Same.
but they blew the horn, and what happened? The walls came tumbling down, as
Yeah.
it says. Well, that was a frequency. It was a frequency that was at the same vibration of the wall. And it's like that glass that broke when the singer, that's what they did with the shofar horns. So that's where all this comes from. It goes way back into, what's his face, the Roman emperor, starts with a C.
Constantine?
Constantine. He changed all that. Right after the death of Jesus, about, I don't know, 30 AD or somewhere in there. He changed it because people were saying songs in 4/3/2 harmony, about 4/4/4, which I've talked about this before, where all the music today is in 4/4/4 instead of 4/32, and it's disrupted.
That's the devil's frequency.
That's where that's coming from.
Four.
It's 417,
Okay.
471, something like that.
Instead of 432, which is the harmony.
And that's why all instruments should be, your band should be, they all should be tuned in 432.
How do they do that?
You can get it on a computer and get a electronic
Really?
tuner.
Tuning.
What that does is conducive to you. Every cell in your body loves that frequency. That's why he changed it, because they were having miracles in churches and the colored glass windows, when the sun would go through.
Can man sing in that harmony?
Sir?
Can man sing in that?
Sure, yeah.
Have we ever heard anybody do that?
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger now. But that's where all these frequencies come from, the solfeggio scale. I gave you that.
Yeah. Tuning for
Yeah, that's
it. 528, you hit it and go,
And what it does, it gets rid of pain,
Right.
and it'll heal you. I've used it, my daughter's got one, my wife's got one, you got one.
Can you buy it at the music store?
What, 528?
Yeah.
You get it at Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like $25. But yeah, I mean, these are things that you can use, because not everybody's gonna have the hubbub of faith to get all this done all the time. And even if you did, you gotta keep it going all the time, and we can't do that, because our attention
Right.
wavers. And that's what Jesus was saying, all you're after is my miracles, you're not after my word. Yeah, I can do a miracle, and that'll keep you satisfied for about 12 hours, and you want something else. And it's true. People are sensational. They want all this stuff. And all Jesus was doing the right frequencies to have this manifestation, his frequencies. That's how he did it. That's how he made it originally. And that's how he did all the, when they were dead in the grave, all he did was speak to what? The body. Because the spirit went back into the body. And he didn't walk out because he was griff wrapped. You know, he was like a mummy. So how did he get out of the tomb? He levitated out of the tomb. And then they unwrapped him. It's not that hard. We think it is because we don't see it. Well, the reason we don't see it because we don't believe it. See? And then one of his sisters said, if you'd have been here 3 days ago, he wouldn't have gone through this, and he stinks. You remember that? He stinketh. Well, Jesus doesn't care. All it is a spoken word, boom, and it's gone. Because he brought life back into the flesh. The frequencies, the cells, the vibration.
I tell you what, if you'd ever been in that tomb, you feel a spirit in there like you ain't never felt in your life.
Well, it's not the spirit, it's the vibration that's in the tomb.
It's in it.
Yes,
Something-
yes.
Something in it.
Yeah.
When I went in that tomb, total meltdown of my spirit. I cried like a little baby.
And that's nothing wrong with that.
No,
But don't let that emotional and that crying
no, I mean, you just,
be a crutch for you when you run into stuff like you're running into today. Don't boo-hoo about high, because they ain't gonna do any good. Because emotions have one thing, they're subject to change.
right.
All emotions are.
But the thing though, when you're in there, is to think about the God that you worship was laying here.
And that's fun, and that's beautiful, but you can do that right here in that church.
I know that, but I got a chance to do that.
And I celebrate that.
Yeah.
And that's great. But really, think about what it is. It's a physical reaction to something that happened 2,000 plus years ago, which had to happen. And yes, it's good.
But it was a heart deal.
It was
Yeah,
hard.
oh yeah,
It was
Yeah.
all,
oh yeah.
it wasn't no
No,
mind.
it's hard, it's all hard, man.
And that's beautiful, but Jesus isn't dead. See,
But
remember,
the stone was laying outside, it'd already been rolled, so
he had to get out.
yeah,
And he could have walked through the stone because his body wasn't the same body that went in.
right.
But it didn't, and they didn't recognize him. That's why he didn't want that woman to touch him. Because if he had it, she'd have burst into, she'd have been gone instantly. He was perfection, she was sin. Mary, I think it was.
Correct.
Mary. So, yeah, but he understood all this stuff, because look, it's all based on frequencies, still. It's no hubba-bubba-bubba-bubba stuff, it's not that. Jesus is God, Jesus is spirit, Jesus is pure energy, the best we know.
And
He can't destroy energy.
He was the Word before he became Jesus. That was his name in heaven, and the Word was spoken.
The Word is God, God is the Word.
Right.
It's that simple. And what's that mean? It just means He's up in heaven, He's a spiritual being, and that's all we know. That's all we know.
But what is really interesting to me is that you try to think this through, is he existed when the earth was formed,
Before,
before.
yes.
He was part of the creation.
He did, he was
He
created. See, God is three different
Yeah.
people, but He's also one person.
Yeah.
Get that around your head. You can't. And you're trying to figure this out with a finite mind,
Yeah.
which you can't.
But see, that's why the Muslims won't believe in Jesus. They can't believe that he can be in three forms.
Well, too bad for them.
That's,
God gave them the measure of faith like everybody
But
else.
you know how a lot of Muslims are getting saved now?
I've heard that, yeah.
Through the women.
Through the women visions at night, dreams.
Why? Because women are emotional, and they love emotional
They
things.
are.
yeah.
And they get to your attention, you're very emotional, which is good for God, but everything else, it's crap.
Yes.
And that's true, and we all know that.
But the thing about it is, what's happened to these women, from what I understand, a missionary that deals with them a lot, is they hold it in for a long time because if they told their husband about it, they'd get the crap beat out of them, or they'd get killed.
Yeah,
So they have to work it slow, even though they believe in Jesus, and Jesus has revealed himself to them. They can't really get to their husband just immediately. And it's a slow process.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we
But that's their
support,
institution.
we support a ministry, it's called Sin 56 at the church. And it's Muslims who got born again, and they come here for training, and they go back out to their homeland to preach the gospel, and they know that usually they'll be dead within 2 years.
You talked to these folks?
I haven't talked to them, met them, I work for a church that does it, and I haven't had a chance to meet them yet.
That's amazing.
But they know they're gonna die within 2 years. But
No
they
kidding.
willingly do it.
but all they're doing is getting rid of their body, and they're
But
just
they
dropping
know,
the anchor.
they know that
Yeah.
it's a death sentence, to just preach Jesus.
But see,
But they willingly do it.
Yeah.
but that's their body, it's not who they are.
Mm.
See, their spirit and soul can't die, because it's energy.
Yep.
That's what God breathed into Adam.
We're really like, we're the same way. We're all the same way. We know that to die is gain.
Yes.
Physically, yeah.
It's easy said, but to believe it,
That is easily said.
I mean, when we're sitting in here, happy folks, and everybody's smiling,
We may have a
everybody
chance
loves
to
each other,
fight. Right, we may
and we
have,
love life.
I agree.
But if it came to saving your life and me sacrificing mine,
Let's
I'd do it
go.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'd do it for anybody.
Let the games begin, guys, let's go.
Hey, look, I already know what the end is. Look, the body goes to dirt, the spirit and soul goes somewhere.
So you're talking about the rubber meeting the road. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I understand that. I totally- It's easy right here, you're right.
Yeah,
You know why I stay? I'd like to go right now. I'm tired of this place. It sucks.
Yeah.
The people suck.
I want to make some disciples of folks who I love, like my son and my grandchildren.
I understand
That's
that,
it.
but if I had my brothers, I'd go right now.
Yeah.
I
Of course we
can't.
are, yeah.
Oh, we all.
But you can't. You
No, I
can't.
can't,
No.
because my daughter
You got a
won't
job.
let me.
You
She
got
said,
a
Dad,
job.
you can't go. I said, I
Well,
understand that.
right, the more disciples we can make, the more people will snatch out of hell.
And that's what we're here to do, spread the good
And,
news.
Good.
but while we're here, we're still supposed to live the abundant life.
Yes.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And be blessed in every area of our life.
And
Yeah.
why
Oh,
don't we? Why aren't we all there blessing everything that we do in every aspect of it? Because of the words that come out of our mouth.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
We're the only person
Exactly
that can
right.
stop it.
Speaking death over yourself. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
you know, and my weakest point is stupidity behind the wheel. I just, and sometimes it slips out.
Mine is I get worn out from others.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That's what you do, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I would say that's one of the hardest things.
that
in
is
this
the hardest thing.
because in a spiritual setting, they expect you to be perfect. They expect you to be different than them and have all the answers. And they don't expect you to believe, but their way and give me, you know.
My name is Jimmy.
Yeah. And you're on a spot every 24 hours.
Yeah.
You got something just out here waiting on you.
Because it's not my fault, it's his fault, he's the pastor, he should know better,
That's
he's supposed
right.
to pray for me out
That's
of
right.
this.
And it's up to him to witness to everybody and save everybody. It's not my job.
Exactly.
And
But it is.
it is.
We're all
And I feel
kings
so sorry.
of this world, we're all gods of this world, all of us.
And we're going, and my church is going through that right now. Is, all these old people still think it's the preacher's job.
Oh, yeah.
And,
But that's why they give them their time. See, they're paying for it,
sure they are.
that's what they believe,
Sure.
and that's wrong too.
And that's why you see a dying church, man.
Well, of course, it's no love. There's no love there, Eddie. It's all built on love. Why didn't Jesus have a church?
You have to deal with human.
So that,
Why
Yeah.
didn't Jesus have a church?
why didn't he have a church?
Didn't
Because they had temples everywhere. They had Sadducees and Pharisees, temples everywhere for the Lord.
Because he hadn't gone to the cross yet.
No.
What is it?
Well, I'm asking you.
he? He had to
What do you
deal with
want?
human.
Yeah, he had to, because that's why he came to earth. When he walked through the temple, he said, why are you doing this in my father's house? So he knew what it was, when they were changing money, because they were cheating people and selling stuff. Right? He took the cat of nine tails, and he whipped them all and got them out of there. So he knew who his father's church was. So, why didn't he?
He was the church.
Yes, thank you. It was him, he was the church.
Okay, I see.
It wasn't about a building. Because men had already gone through and screwed that up, the Sadducees and Pharisees.
See, Jesus was called to the exact same calling we
Right.
have, which is
Yes.
magnify the Father, make disciples.
Yes, because he paid his dues. He was here to fulfill the law.
And the people my wife hangs around with, they're constantly saying, we gotta bring the kingdom of God down here, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta, no. They
it's
don't
all-
like me.
But it's all about them, see? They want the accolades and the rewards for doing all that.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
The kingdom's already down here. We don't have to-
in their heart,
Yeah, but that's what they're doing, that's what they, I mean, so many people believe that.
it's works.
Oh, we gotta get God to do this so we can bring the kingdom over here. We gotta turn these people into this and this and this so that Jesus can come back. What a bunch of garbage.
Well, how about when they fly up in the airplane so they can do warfare in the heavens?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
God, I know. Oh, God.
You know, we've fought with Ding Dong the White about this before in there, and that's why I quit going over there. You were there, we were in that discussion.
Don't put me in that discussion.
Yeah, well, you were there, you were defending me.
Check, see how this works out. Go up to Dwight and say, Dwight, there's no such thing as spiritual warfare. What?
Yeah, the devil has no power.
I said, get behind me.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and Terrell's going, you gotta hear and hear and hear and hear and hear and hear and hear. You don't. Ain't got nothing to do with it, it's not your hearing, it's your decision.
Boy, that's for sure.
But,
Gosh, that's what,
Heck, yeah.
that's for sure.
but
He's a
that's-
roaring lion. You ever see lions hunt? They don't roar when they hunt.
He's a puddle.
The old toothless guy scares the little crazy animals into the females who are crouched down. So he roars, and then they go over there, and then the female get him. So if he roars, he can't do anything.
Right.
He's toothless.
For those who are doing spiritual warfare, say, listen, what happened when Jesus did spiritual warfare in Colossians 2:15? Did he do a good job, or did he not quite get it all done? You have to help him out. Which one is it, Dwight? Sorry, I get on a roll here, baby.
No,
I
that's fine.
think what has happened, it's just been a deception about it, obviously.
Right.
In the church.
Right.
All they're trying to do is regain their sight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they call it that because, but they're just trying to get tuned in of who they really already are and have in Christ.
Right.
And they just label these things. And it don't matter how much you run around the church or you beat on the wall or stand against the wall, but it's about renewing their mind of who they are. And they think they got to pull down and put pressure on God to get themselves right.
Well, there's not quite, you're right, and there's not
And,
quite as much blame to them if they put it on somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Jump through hoops.
part of passing
It's
the buck.
hoops. Yes.
It is passing the buck.
Because if I can blame the devil,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
or of course blame God or put it on a weighting scale,
Yeah.
then I take the responsibility off myself
Yeah.
of me renewing my mind.
Oh, yeah.
So.
So that's the problem.
When I teach
Yeah, what Paul
myself,
said.
I came up with 4 things.
Def-
that If you don't have these 4 things correct, you're gonna screw up. What's the will of God? Who is sovereign where and who's not? What's your true identity? And also, what is your authority? Your authority. You know, I can't cross yours or yours unless you let me. If you give me permission to, I can.
And
It's
all
like
of-
Jesus when he healed the Roman soldier's daughter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She was, you know?
Had a fever. But it's all based in love, all 4 of those things. You gotta have love presence in every one of them. See, without love, it doesn't matter.
Well, the other thing too is like I was talking to another gentleman the other day in a pastor's ministerial type meeting. And he made a good point that he can't wait to talk to meet the Roman centurion in heaven.
Oh, the one I was talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because, and I preached the message on who had the greatest faith in the Bible? And a lot of people will think different ones.
That's a good passage.
But Jesus marveled at this man.
Right,
Yeah.
He marveled, God in the flesh marveled
right,
at this man's faith, who was not a Jew,
right,
okay, who was not under old covenant,
right.
No.
Exactly.
okay?
Yeah.
Because he marveled because he said, you don't even have to come to the house, just send the word.
He
He knew the power of words.
understood authority.
He understood
knew where his
authority.
was, he
Yeah.
knew where the guys, the commanders above him were, that's right.
And it
If
was
I give
all natural authority. It
That's
had nothing
right.
to do with spirits.
Yeah.
See, and that's why Jesus was so marveled at that. It was physical. There wasn't any spirit in it. Because the guy didn't know anything about spirit, but he did know about
See,
authority.
and that's going to lead us in, this is good, Chris, that leads us into our identity. Our identity is linked into Jesus, because we're in him.
Yeah, he knew authority,
Yes.
so that means he knew how to submit.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So he submitted to Christ.
Exactly.
You know, he may not know anything about it, but he submitted. You are the healer.
Yes.
You're Lord. You are who you say you are. So I submit to your authority.
When he
Right
did that,
then,
and there was
he got-
immovable trust.
Right then, he had to believe
Yes.
to put him in heaven, just like the
Absolutely.
thief on the right.
Yeah.
See, that's the faith of right, immovable trust, which is the definition of faith right here.
Yes. See, that's
I
why.
believe that. If you believe, you'll submit.
Exactly.
Exactly.
In that
Oh,
person, in the person of Jesus.
That's
Yeah.
how come we know that to die is gain, because we've already submitted.
But we're not dying. That's what I'm saying. We're just,
I'm talking about the body.
I understand.
I'm talking about the body.
but when you talk to somebody, they think, oh, die, oh, that's the end. No. You just turn the page, brother.
Okay, I should say,
Yeah.
here's the correct way to say that. To leave this body is gain.
Yes.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Because the real
Sleep,
me,
that's what
the real
Jesus
me
called
is-
it.
if I leave the body, the real me is not what's left. That's just the body, and it's gonna
It's
turn
a
to dust.
suit that you gotta wear to be on earth. That's all this is. This is not who we are.
Yeah.
This is a representation.
You're a heavenly being living in earth suit.
That's it, brother. You are.
You
This
don't
is
say
not-
the word die, you say depart.
That's true, you're right.
Default.
I stand corrected now, thank you.
No, that's fine. Just.
Depart.
Don't
Turn the page.
on death, because, sir,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, no.
I want to throw this out here.
Sure.
the Lord's giving me a message on this. I gotta fix it together, but I got a question. When Adam, before you guys think about it, when God brought the animals to Adam, the name, he always said, I want to see what you're going to call them. What are you going to call them? Then he couldn't find a suitable helpmate. The Lord put Adam to sleep, took the rib out, made Eve. When he brought Eve to Adam, Adam said, finally, something for me, basically. She is bone of my bone, flesh of my
There's the
flesh.
key.
Okay? And that's why too, the man will leave his mother and father, and the two shall be one.
Yes.
How did he know to say that and where she came from if he was asleep? When God took the rib out.
Vibrational.
Think about it for a minute.
No, it's vibrations.
Right.
Yeah,
Had to be.
yeah, because she's part of him.
Part of him. So he was missing that part when he came together.
Yes.
He
That
also,
means a man still has one less rib than a woman.
Yes, that's true.
no,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, no, it's true.
okay.
I thought I read that too.
Yeah, you did.
But see,
Yes.
here's the other thing too. Adam, at that time, he had not screwed up yet.
Mm-mm.
And he had not, as I call it, he had not wrapped around his spirit the thing I call the Adam appendage, which is the sin nature, of course. And so he was, the answer for God to Adam was, don't eat of this tree of God, knowledge of good and evil, come to me. And so he instinctively always came to that point, to God, and God was telling him the good stuff, the Eve stuff.
I think he knew that it was taken from him when we became one again,
Yes.
which the Lord was showing me that signifies us
Amen.
with Christ.
Yes.
And we're now bone of his bone of flesh and his flesh.
That's spirit.
Yeah,
We're
we come
doing
together
the
as one.
spirit, he did it in the flesh.
So,
Yes.
but it was interesting that he was asleep, but yet he knew when he woke up.
Vibrational energy, brother.
Yeah.
That's the
I
harmony.
thought that was just interesting.
That's good.
You can't get away from energy. The garden was vibrating. Everything that was in that garden was vibrating. God vibrates. He's energy.
Man, that was a good look, to say, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then what's the dirty woman do? It says, eat.
She even
Well,
with one
yeah, I
less,
mean, he's looking and he was trying to find a helpmate with all those animals.
Exactly.
But couldn't find one suitable.
so
He
Adam-
couldn't.
This don't look like me, don't feel like me, don't.
There-
And then
Look,
when he
that's
brings
that's an
Eve, he's
animal.
like,
He's a human. You can't.
right. And when Eve comes, he's like, whoa, man.
Yeah, baby.
yeah, he's in the full drool by then.
I guess that's what he called a woman.
Oh,
Whoa, man.
Whoa.
what do you think he ate the apple for? Because she asked him to.
Yeah.
Because he knew better. He knew better.
Does it say anywhere in there that she named some of the animals?
No,
No,
She-
this was.
This was after that.
But another reason too, I think that he looked at them as being so one, when she was eating it, he was already eating that apple.
I agree. That's why he
That's why
did
he
it.
went ahead and
Yeah,
did
no,
it.
he had to, because part of
Even
him.
though she was deceived, scripture clearly says.
Yes.
He willingly did it. So I think he looked as well, part of me's already eaten it, I might as well.
Because he couldn't live without her, because she would
Right.
have to leave. He knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's the part, right, he knew he'd
But
lose her.
now, this ain't scriptural, but if he didn't, I would have been interested to know what God would have done, made her another one,
Well, let me tell you what,
everything, I just think kind of.
No,
this
that's
stuff.
speculation,
What
absolutely.
I think, I've thought about that before, I don't think that God would have, he couldn't allow them to have babies. Because that wouldn't work.
Well, he just stayed in the garden, should have been outside.
She would have been outside.
Oh, it's true, that is separated, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Or what about this? So Eve ate the apple, but Adam was sitting right there. He wasn't somewhere else. He was right
Oh,
next
yeah,
to
he
her.
didn't defend it.
So he was passive, and look how many men are passive.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just sat there and didn't say, hey Eve, you shouldn't do that. He just sat there, she ate the apple.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's
You
the
know?
other thing too.
So think about that.
That's true.
Legacy,
Well, he knew what was
how
going on.
many
in
men are
that night.
passive?
He might have told her not to do it, but she.
No, he didn't tell her.
But she had her own choice to make.
He knew what was
stop her
waiting
choice.
on him that night.
If you really understand the scriptures and really get into it, Eve never did talk to God, Adam did. Eve got her information from
Secondhand.
Adam.
That's
Secondhand information.
I think you're right.
Oh, no,
Because you
yeah.
can see the dialogue between her and the enemy, she added things that God never said that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, see, you've got to understand secondhand information. She said, it wasn't my fault, I got all my information from Adam. She's already pointing fingers.
Then Adam blamed her.
Then Adam blamed her, exactly. There it goes, boom, boom, boom. And that's where that came from, that's the
Blame the
confusion.
devil, then blame her.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
yeah,
Genesis 1:26,
Well, I
God
thought
didn't
she
give the authority
blamed
to
the
the earth.
snake.
She blamed the
He gave it
snake,
to Adam.
and then Adam blamed Eve. But Adam actually blamed God. He said,
exactly.
this woman you gave me.
You're right. Yeah, they had to point fingers.
Everybody's pointing fingers.
Everybody's pointing fingers.
That's the chaos that's in the world. That's what we have today. We got chaos of order. And we get to
Boy,
choose.
ain't that the truth.
And all
We
God
can
was
live
wanting
like
to
all
know.
those women and friends of your wives that are cuckoo, they choose chaos.
Yeah, they do.
And
Yeah.
we're here trying to understand the order for it.
That's
And
it.
it's always gonna be there. You're gonna make a decision.
Which,
from
that was
one second
out
to
of order, because all God wanted to know was, Adam, where are you at?
the next. Yep,
And who told you you were naked?
Uh-huh.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Whose voice did you listen to?
And he wanted Adam to tell him.
Well, he knew where he was, but he wanted Adam
He
to
wanted
tell him.
Adam to know where he was.
But he was ready to forgive Adam, right then and there. He was ready to forgive and wash away all that from Adam. But Adam wouldn't do it,
How did he know that he
Wait a
was
minute,
naked?
so how did you know that he was ready to forgive him?
because God is love.
He was naked when he was born, and he just thought that's the way it was supposed to be.
He didn't know.
How did he understand what naked was?
When he bit into the apple.
Oh,
The tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah, after they ate, their eyes were open.
Oh.
Their eyes were already open, but it was spiritual.
Because the same thing about, they didn't understand death, because
They never tasted it.
until they tasted the apple, then they understood.
There was
I
no
got you.
deterioration whatsoever in the garden,
I got
up
you.
until,
And that death is separation from God.
yes. But they had to.
Because he gave them dominion,
And the
and they
enemy,
were the ones that were supposed to tell the snake to get out.
They were still gods of that world.
Right,
Yes.
I mean, that's why he couldn't stop them.
No, he couldn't. No. But he was ready to forgive them. If that, all they had to say is, I repent, Lord, and he repents, forgive. And he
So
didn't
then
do it.
what would have happened to the line? Still, I mean, they're still forgiven, but the line of sin would still go on?
No, it stopped, right?
Would it stop?
Yeah, they would have been renewed.
Okay,
They would have been perfect again in the garden.
wow.
Yeah.
Now that,
Had could have done that, but
the enemy,
Adam just said, he ran afraid. He let fear take over. That's when he ushered death into the world. Satan didn't bring it in, Adam did.
so if he'd have done it, asked for forgiveness, and Eve hadn't, it was still,
She was part of him.
she'd have to do it too.
Yeah. But say they were one. Adam and Eve have always been one.
Right,
That's why when you get married, you're one person.
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
That's why you're only supposed to get married once, not like me.
That's
But,
also why the enemy had to use a cunning animal like a snake, because he had no dominion, he had no authority.
exactly.
He couldn't make anybody do nothing.
Yeah,
Still can't.
yeah.
Correct.
And that's it.